So what's happening, everybody? Right now I am going live, and just bear with me. It's the first time that I've done this. So we're going live right now, and we're going to do a special presentation about my story and the high performance habits that have literally changed my life. So if you're watching this live, please comment live right now. If you're watching the replay, please comment replay. So just going to make sure that the algorithm's all warmed up for everybody. And we are going to go live here. So again, the topic of today's live is going to be my story and the high performance habits that will literally change your life. Okay. So I'm just going to drop this in the chat and then we're going to get right into it. Everybody, just while we're waiting so that I can make sure that everybody is in the chat, maybe just drop a quick win in the chat for your week. And let's get everybody in here. So drop a quick win in the chat, comment live if you are watching live. And if you're watching the replay, comment replay. Okay, also another really important announcement. Future lives are only going to be held in my Facebook group, Tom the Trainer's Tribe. Okay, so if you're on Facebook right now and you're catching this on my personal profile, make sure that you check the link in the description and you come join the tribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you check the link in the description of my YouTube bio, join the tribe, and on Instagram, go check out the link in the bio of Instagram and come join the tribe. Okay. So let's get into this. And if anybody isn't here, then what they can do is they can catch up as we get into it. Okay. So in this live, I'm going to share my inspiring story and the habits that I learned to overcome all the obstacles and dominate every aspect of my life. The habits in this live training today will literally change your life if you implement them. Again, go check out my Facebook community, Tom the Trainer's Tribe, which is the #1 space online to learn how to dominate your life while including fitness as part of it. Okay. It's a free space. Go join. So to start with you, I'm going to share my story as much as I reasonably can in the time that I have. And to give you a bit of insight, I came up in an environment that was really, the only way to put it, was toxic. And growing up, my opportunities were less than what you would call abundant. But I was able to overcome that environment, and I was able to create a life that I could only dream of as a kid. While creating this life for myself, I developed some high performance habits that have allowed me to not only thrive in fitness, but also in my family life, my career, and my business as well. So after I tell you a little bit about my story and what led me here, I'm going to share some of the high performance habits that have me thriving in every aspect of my life. So who's stoked to hear about the high performance habits that will literally have you thriving in every aspect of your life? Just comment stoked in the chat. Okay, so let's get into it. Who's stoked? I want to see who's stoked. Comment stoked. Okay, so let's get into this here. Got a couple of comments. Okay, let's do this. Bear with me. It's the first time I've done this, so it's a learn as we go here. For me, take messy action, and that's how you succeed. Okay, so I'm an 80s baby, and I was born in 1982. And honestly, there's no other way to put it, but I was born into a life of what you would call constant chaos. My mother was an on-again, off-again recovering alcoholic that clearly had some demons that she never dealt with. She was the true definition of a narcissist, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure she was or is bipolar. So life growing up with her was a constant roller coaster of ups and downs. And there was way more lows than there was highs. So the behaviors that I witnessed and I was exposed to under her watch can only be defined as a toxic whirlwind. Now, my father was a hot-headed, hardworking sleazeball Irishman, red-headed, fiery sleazeball Irishman who went through life with the intention of burning people or getting the better of every interaction he had. He was just somebody who was a taker, right? So fortunately for me, he was absent, but he would pop into my life from time to time, promise me the world with his smooth talking ways, and then he would disappear again until I tracked him down in 2007. I went to live with him to get to know him, and I was there long enough to realize that I was more fortunate than not that he wasn't around, right? Now, as a young man, as a kid, I was out of shape. I sucked at all sports. I was overweight. I was asthmatic, and I had really low self-esteem. My best friend growing up, his family was very wealthy, and they showed me that there was a better life than the one that I was in. And his dad used to give me pep talks, driving me home from their 52-foot yacht that I would go to every weekend with them in the summer, right? So we were from opposite sides of the tracks, right? Now, so as a young man, even as a young man, I would ask the people who had what I wanted for advice. Like I would ask his dad, Rick, like, how do I get what you have? And he would give me pep talks on the drive home. And a big part of my childhood growing up, as probably any 80s baby is watching movies. And I loved the action stars. So like Rambo, Conan, you name it, Rocky. If it was a movie about a jacked guy that was the epitome of like macho, then I would watch it like more than once, multiple times. Okay. And I guess with my father being absent, these guys kind of became my male role models, right? And I'm sure if you're an 80s baby, if you can relate to that, just say relate in the chat, right? We got some 80s babies men in here, right? So these influences are what sparked my passion for fitness. Now, my big brother was 14 years older than me, and he lived with my grandmother when I was a child. And he gave me my first set of weights. He showed me a few things and started taking me to his gym because I told him I wanted to get in shape, right? So if it wasn't for my big brother, Mike, Tom the trainer probably wouldn't exist. And who knows what kind of trouble I'd have gotten into if it wasn't for my love of fitness and my brother taking me under his wing and showing me the ropes. So getting back to the action heroes that influenced me to ask my brother to show me how to train, Arnold was my favorite. And I can't remember who, but somebody bought me his biography either as a birthday present or a Christmas present or something. And honestly, for the first time in my life, I had a bit of hope. So I can remember laying in bed as a depressed young man thinking to myself, after reading that biography, one day I'll be so successful that I'll write a book so kids like me will know that they can accomplish anything regardless of their upbringing and regardless of their environment. So Arnold literally changed my life and gave me hope. And his picture is hanging in my studio in two separate places with the word conquer. Major influence on me. Now, shortly after that, I moved out on my own for the first time ever at 13 years old. So that leads me to high school, where I was obviously a bit of a mixed up kid, living out on my own, doing what I could to survive. And back then, I would tell people that my dream job was to be a personal trainer. But I would also say, I would say if I could do anything, I would be a personal trainer. But I'm probably going to do something else because I didn't feel that it would make me financially successful and fulfill the destiny of success that I had envisioned for myself after reading Arnold's book. Now, in high school, I met a girl, first girlfriend ever. I fell in love with her, right? And her family were pretty well off, and they took pretty good care of me, to be honest. Remember, I had low self-esteem, and this was my first girlfriend ever. So I'm sure everybody can relate, right? Now, I kind of thought or viewed her family as my second chance because they were far better off than I was and they took really good care of me, right? So I stayed with her for nearly a decade and we split about 9 months after we got married in Cuba. And none of my family went to the wedding. There was a bunch of BS that there was always BS, right, in my family. And I just decided that I was done with the BS that I had grown accustomed to from them. Hey, babe. So I made the decision to cut most of them out of my life completely. And I'm going to get back to the importance of choosing your surroundings later. So, anyways, when this happened, I was devastated. Like, not like a little bit. I felt like I lost my second chance. I felt like I lost like the people that I viewed as my family, the people who took care of me, that weren't the negative influences that I had from my real family, right? So what I did was I packed up everything I could fit into my car and I drove across the country to BC to meet my dad, which, as you know, from what I said earlier, didn't work out very well. Now, as soon as I got out there, I blew up my back. I couldn't walk without limping, and I lived in excruciating pain the whole time I was there. So from that, I spiraled into a depression. I was living in excruciating pain. I couldn't hold down a job, and I literally wound up homeless. Okay, legit. I was living on the side of a mountain in a tent, in a tough duck coverall, sleeping at night. I got so sick that I had pneumonia so bad that I had to be rushed to a doctor, and they had to cool my body temperature down. So I learned the hard lesson of what it's like to have nothing and feel like you have no one to turn to for help. And long story short, because I only have so much time here today, is I found out how to manage my back a little bit because I got some help. And I started working graveyards at a Denny's, and I stayed in British Columbia until my son, Maddox, turned 4 before coming back home to Ontario. So I wouldn't leave BC until my son was old enough that I had the relationship with him, and that's what kept me there, right? Because my father was always absent and not a great dad, and to me, it was very important that I be a good father to him. So I waited till he turned 4, and I moved back home to Ontario. Is everybody with me so far in the chat while I grab a drink? Is everybody following along? I'm not moving too fast. Just say with you in the chat. Okay. So I came back home in 2015 and I got a job working with Bell Canada through the week, and I was still serving on weekends. Okay. Now, within a couple of months of getting back home, I went into the bar. I got suckered. And I hit my head so bad that I was airlifted to Kingston General Hospital for life-saving brain surgery. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks before I checked myself out early because I had to take care of, I had things I had to take care of. So I had no choice. I had to get back to life. And cognitively, I wasn't able to handle the full-time hours or the mental bandwidth that it took to do my job at Bell in corporate sales. So I stepped away from my job at Bell after diligently trying to make it work. And then what I did was I slowly worked up my hours serving. And then as I recovered and my ability to work more hours increased, I took on some supervisor responsibilities. So I bet right now, listening to this, you're probably thinking, holy shit, give this guy a break, right? And I'll be honest with you, at that point in time in my life, I was pretty worn down. I felt pretty broken. But So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, holy shit, like, can I just get a break? Right. But I got a break. Okay. That's when I got my break. So one of the managers in the restaurant that I was working for went to Good Life Fitness and he told me to apply there. And I went for it. I went for my teenage job. Because what did I have to lose? I legit had nothing to lose at that point. Okay. So I went to be a personal training manager, to manage the personal training department at Good Life Fitness, the largest fitness company in Canada. And I took the mindset I had from the restaurant and honestly every other job I've ever done or anything I've ever done in my life of be, pardon my French, the fucking hardest working person in the building, the hardest working person in the group. And I set my eyes on some lofty goals in the company. I stepped down from my management role and focused just on becoming a personal trainer early 2017. February 2017, I stepped down from the management role and I focused on just being a personal trainer because that's what I was passionate about. I set some lofty goals immediately in the company. I was the number one trainer in all of Canada the month of March 2017. So I became a personal trainer, a full-time personal trainer, February 2017. I was the number one in all of Canada, March 2017. I finished as a top 10 PT twice in the entire country. And I was the first and only level 5 trainer in the city of Peterborough. To this day, I am the first and only level 5 trainer in the city of Peterborough. I started dabbling in online coaching in 2019 because I wanted to become the first and only level 6. When I went to Good Life Fitness and got my certifications, I set a goal to be a level 6 trainer. At that time, there was only 3 in the country. At the time of which that I was going to be a level 6 trainer a few years later, there probably would have been maybe 5 in the entire country. And I was working towards that goal. At that same time of working towards that goal, Alyssa, my newlywed wife in August, shout out Alyssa, her and I bought our dream home. And life was so good that I literally had to pinch myself every morning to make sure I wasn't dreaming. I went from a kid with hope to a man who was hopeless, living on the side of a mountain at one point in time. To a man who, while living on the side of the mountain, while recovering from my brain injury, literally got to the point where I was like, you delusional fucking child you were, Tom. All of that turned around. I bought my dream home with an amazing woman. I literally had to wake up every morning and pinch myself to make sure that this was real. And then the pandemic hit. Okay. If everybody's with me so far, if you're not in Tom the Trainer's Tribe, go join Tom the Trainer's Tribe right now. Links in the comments, in the description, in the bio. Let me grab a drink. Everybody with me so far? So 2019, 2020, the pandemic hit. I doubled down on my education. I took a bunch of online courses. I supported my Good Life clients for free through my online coaching platform. And I hired a business mentor. I actually hired 2 business mentors. And I was posting tons of valuable content online, just free content, free information that would help everybody. I built up to around 20 paying online clients from all over the world. And my Good Life superiors were well aware that I was doing online coaching. It was a service that they did not offer at Good Life. And I approached them with it before I did it. It was actually part of the requirements, but there was a lack of clarity in their language of becoming a level 6. They said you need to coach, blanket coach, but they wanted people coaching performance sports to be a level 6. The language was unclear. I went to coach online. My regional manager, my district manager, my manager, everybody knew, and they were all okay with it. But when I went back to work during the first stage of the reopening, my regional manager changed because Good Life had to make cuts because of the financial constraints that were caused by the pandemic. And they had to cut a lot of the regional managers down to half. So this new regional manager came in, and I won't mention any names, but in my opinion, he was not a leader and he was a bully. He gave me an ultimatum. He said, shut down Tom the Trainer Fitness and give Good Life all my clients while I train them over Zoom sessions or leave. He had no willingness to discuss this matter whatsoever. Blanket statement, and I had 14 days to decide. On day 12, Ontario shut back down and they sent us home for further notice. Talk about a stressful environment. I had 2 days left to make my decision. Pardon my French, I said, fuck it. And I went burn the boats all in on Tom the Trainer Fitness when they sent us back home. I didn't want to lose everything. I had an expensive business mentor to pay. I had a new mortgage to pay. And I wasn't going to turn my back on the people that I made promises to, that I took on as online clients. I'm a man of my word. So I had to make Tom the Trainer Fitness work. And I did. I built up to 60 clients while we were still at home. And when the world when the world opened back up, it was a no-brainer decision when it came to Good Life's ultimatum, when it came to the new regional manager's ultimatum. I said, thanks for the opportunity and everything I learned over the years. And I left to open my private training studio, which I'm in now, which at the time was for 5 exclusive in-person clients and a place to record my content, right? You've all seen my content. It's in the studio. So I was building the studio. I was managing 60 online clients. I was creating content. I was managing my books, balancing my books. And I'm not an accountant, right? I was doing the marketing. I was doing everything on top of prepping for a photo shoot while trying to have some sort of family life with Alyssa and Maddox over the summer. Because why not? Apparently I'm, I don't know, a superhero in my own mind or something. So I was I was doing it all. So after the photo shoot, I burnt out. I burnt out extremely hard. Mine and Alyssa's relationship had suffered from me working so much to the point that it almost cost us our relationship. I was sleeping 5 hours per night at best. At best. My blood pressure was high. My anxiety was probably higher. And I was faced with losing everything and having no one again in my life. Talk about a roller coaster, right? So that burnout was legit. I have a burn the boats tattoo on my calf because I go burn the boats all in when I do something. So I went burn the boats all in. But burn the boats means burning the boats that take you to the island that you choose to live on, right? I went so hard that I literally almost burnt the island. So I literally almost burnt up everything around me that wasn't my business. And if you're listening to this, you probably have, or maybe even are, experiencing burnout right now. If you want to be a high performer and that's why you're here, you probably have or are experiencing burnout. And look, burnout's real, right? But the good news is you don't have to live through burnout anymore. Not with the habits I'm going to teach you in a moment. Who's excited to hear the habits? Just comment habits in the chat. Okay. Everybody ready for this? Get your pen and your piece of paper out. Comment habits. Make sure that you write these down. And if you don't write these down, make sure that you're in the Tom the Trainer's Tribe Facebook group so that you can watch this again. Because I'm telling you, these habits will literally change your life and have you dominating every aspect of your life. Okay. Link is in the bio, link is in the description. Link is there, or you can just search Tom the Trainer's Tribe. So anyways, during this burnout, I realized that if I was going to be a high performer and I actually wanted to enjoy the things that truly matter to me in my life, like my health and my family, I needed to implement some high performance habits. And these are my habits. We're going to start out with the mindset habits, okay? Starting out, it is extremely important to have a bedtime routine. You need to get 7 hours sleep minimum, 7 to 9, because you cannot be a high performer on an empty tank. I want to ask you something. If you have a Ferrari in your driveway with no gas in it, what's faster? The Ferrari in your driveway with no gas or a rotting Toyota Corolla in the junkyard? They go the same speed, right? So make sure you're not on an empty tank. Make it a priority to go to bed on time. It affects your hormones. It affects your recovery from your workouts. It affects many factors contributing to your success, let alone your cognitive function. And if you want to be a high performer, you need to think clearly. So a pre-bedtime routine is huge. Try things like shutting off your screens, doing some relaxing stretches, playing calming music. Make sure that you turn off overhead lighting and just use lamps. You could practice some breathing methods, and you can have a small piece of fruit if you wake up often in the middle of the night. If you wake up often in the middle of the night, that's your brain seeking glycogen from your liver for function, right? In the form of fructose. I'm a big fan of having oranges before I go to bed, an orange before I go to bed. I won't nerd out on you here, but if you wake up often, that's probably a sign of that, okay? The most powerful thing that you can do to regulate your sleep is go to bed and wake up every single day at the same time. If you want to change your life, go to bed and wake up every single day at the same time. Comment bedtime routine in the chat right now. After you've established a bedtime routine, make sure that you practice a morning routine with daily gratitude. Okay? I set my alarm on my phone to songs that start my day off right. And I have 2 what I call trigger alarms that play music. Okay? My first alarm is a song that goes off. It's Feeling Good by Nina Simone. I open my eyes to a positive message. First thing, I open my eyes every single morning to positivity, right? It's going to be a good day, right? And I'm feeling good. That's the hook of the song, right? My second song, because I snooze at least once. My second song is Even Though I'm Leaving by Luke Combs. My son lives in British Columbia still. He visits winter and summer. I'm his role model. There's a connection with him and me to that song. It reminds me of him. It reminds me that I'm his role model. And I get out of bed because my son's role model is absolutely going to do what he says he's going to do when he says he's going to do it. And it starts with getting out of bed at the time you say you're going to get out of bed. Okay? When you wake up in the morning, start off with a big glass of water. Take a minute to think about one thing that you're grateful for that day. Say it out loud or write it down. Start your day off with positivity and a productivity mindset. Look, you cannot control what happens in your day, right? You can absolutely control how you start your day. You can always start your day off right. Okay? Start your day with a productivity and positivity mindset. Does this make sense? Say hell yeah in the chat if this makes sense. If you're committed to starting your day with a positive message and the thought of productivity, say hey, hell yeah in the chat. Once you've had your morning routine and you get up, it's time to fill your cup, okay? There's like in hustle culture and high performers and that kind of stuff. I'm in groups that talk about being high performers and whatnot. They talk about like, get your key action items done first thing in the morning. I don't believe in that. I believe that you fill your cup up first. You fill yourself up so you're full so you can crush the day. So this is a great time of the day after you wake up to do a morning workout, right? That's what a lot of my clients do. But what's most important is you listen to something that entertains you and distracts you from anything that's work or stress related that's going to come up in your day. Okay? If you have a commute to work, you can do this on the way. And if the drive is short, maybe take a 10-minute walk first thing in the morning. Listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Don't listen to anything that has to do with any kind of like personal development, business, like nothing. It's stress-free. It's entertainment. That's it. Okay? The idea here is to distract you from thinking about anything stressful and literally start your day calm. And then before you start your work, look at your phone, answer any outstanding messages, emails, text messages that you can address. And if something looks like it's going to take longer than the moment you have before you go into work to address, or it's causing you stress, put it in your calendar or set an alarm to do it at lunch or at a later time. Okay? Not everything needs to be dealt with immediately. And the things that are either causing you anxiety or stress or need more attention are better suited to address when they need more attention. There's way too many people who are living a reactive life. Phone goes off. Oh my God. What am I missing? Oh my God. Right? What do I need to address? Chill. Nothing needs to be dealt with. There may be some things that need to be dealt with immediately. I don't know. If there's a family emergency and somebody's on their way to the hospital, sure. But aside from that, things can wait. Then put your phone on do not disturb for at least an hour, preferably 2, aside from your phone calls, and go into work. There's nothing in the world that will happen that can't wait an hour or 2. And if there's an emergency, somebody's going to call you, right? What this means is you're going to go into work, you're going to be highly productive, you're going to be distraction-free, you filled your cup, you are anxiety-free, you can own the shit out of your day and be productive as hell because you own your distractions. Your distractions don't own you. I don't have my spare phone. You own this handheld device. It doesn't own you, right? We're getting through it here. Is this useful so far for everybody? Comment useful in the chat. If you're not in Tom the Trainer's Tribe, make sure you get in Tom the Trainer's Tribe because these lives will not be going everywhere for long. They're going to be exclusive to the members of the tribe. So now that you've filled your cup in the morning, you need to let down your guard at the end of your day before you walk in the door of your house, okay? So letting down your guard is the same process that you did at the beginning of your day, and it's at the end of your workday. Listen to entertainment on the way home. Pull into your driveway. Don't you dare get out of your car, truck, or whatever you drive and go into the house until you have addressed all the outstanding items on this little distraction that we have. Schedule the things that need your full attention tomorrow, and then put your phone on do not disturb. Okay? You walk through the door of your house with no guard, and you're able to be present inside the house with the people that matter to you way more than anything that's happening on your phone. I'm telling you, since I started doing this, it has absolutely been game-changing, not only for my anxiety levels, but for my relationship with the person who is the most important person in the world to me, who is in that house, right? They matter more. So let down your guard. Don't go in there on guard. Okay. Everybody committed to letting down their guard and being present with their family at the end of the day? Say committed in the chat. Okay. Moving on. If we're scheduling things in our day when we're filling our cup in the morning and we're letting down our guard at the end of the night, then like we need to stick to our schedule. So it's important that you time block and you stick to your schedule. Put your life in Google Calendar or use like a day planner or something, right? And stick to your schedule. You start out by scheduling your non-negotiables. That's work hours, maybe specific business projects while you're at work, right? Tasks within those hours. You can schedule your commute. You can schedule dropping off your kids sporting events, your own sporting events, whatever they may be. These are the things where there is no flexibility in the time of which these things need to be done in your life. Once those are in your calendar, you schedule your workouts, right? Then what you do is you schedule in things like meal prep, shopping, etc. Hell, schedule date night with your partner. Schedule family time. Every night, my schedule goes off, says it's family time. Every Friday is date night where I spend time with Alyssa, right? Whether we go to dinner, whatever it may be, it's scheduled. And then stick to your schedule. There's no point in letting down your guard. There's no point in filling your cup. If you don't do shit when you say you're going to do it because you lack the integrity and your mind and your brain knows that you're full of shit and it's never going to shut off because it knows you don't do shit when you say you're going to do it. So stick to your schedule, right? Have integrity with yourself. Do the things you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do them. And I understand that there's times where you might need to shift some things around. There's times where you may need to work extra hours. There's times where stuff comes up. But it's far easier to manage everything when you're just shifting a thing around here and there than trying to have your whole schedule living by the seat of your pants. Don't live your life by the seat of your pants. Get organized if you want to be a high performer. If you want to dominate every aspect of your life while having health and fitness, having a great career, having a great family life, you got to be organized. Does that make sense to everybody? Just say makes sense in the chat. Okay, we're getting through them here. Here's my health-related habits. There's no denying the effects of living a healthy lifestyle on your productivity and your longevity of life, right? There's no denying the effects of it. You want to live healthy, you want to live a long time, and you want to be extremely productive in your life, have healthy habits, health habits. So habit number 1 is drink 3 to 4 liters of water per day. This is my bare minimum that I drink. Often with female clients, I say 3 liters. With male clients, we can go up to 4 and 5 and whatever. I drink like 6. But minimum, bare minimum, bam, bare ass minimum requirement for me is 3 to 4 liters per day. Your energy levels are going to increase. Your skin will look better. Your digestion will improve. And the easiest way to accomplish this is to get a 2 or 3 liter jug. What I do is I take it with me everywhere and I make sure it never goes empty. I got one at home. I got one in the office. I got a bunch in the cupboards. Alyssa loves it. So if you struggle with your water intake, go order a 2 to 3 liter jug after listening to the rest of this training, okay? When it comes to workouts, my bare minimum is 4 45-minute workouts per week, 45 minutes to an hour. That's 3 to 4 hours per week that will change your life. Resistance training is key. Cardio is good for health heart when done in moderation for weight loss. But if you overdo it, you're going to lose muscle. You're going to lower your metabolism. And honestly, there are some signs out there. There's some like research and some suggestions stating that like there's an increased likelihood of increasing Alzheimer's with excessive cardio based on some tendencies of marathon runners as they age. Okay. Now, without getting into the weeds on that, just plain and simple, prioritize lifting weights over cardio. Okay. It is going to have a better impact on your health, your ability, everything. It's going to be much better than prioritizing cardio. Now, cardio is still important. Obviously, it's important to move. So when it comes to walks, I take a 10-minute walk outside daily. Okay. And I'm like, honestly, this is really simple. I'm sure I don't need to explain much of this. Just get outside every day, walk with your family, walk with your partner, take your dog out, whatever. Going for walks outside in the sun is important. Vitamin D is very important, but it also lowers stress. Have any of you guys or gals literally been like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out on this walk with my dog right now? Right? So go for walks, go for at least one. And then I aim to get 10,000 steps. I think 8,000 steps is reasonable for some people, 10,000 for others. The reason I'm not walking on my treadmill right now is because I'm doing a presentation, but try to aim to get 10,000 steps. And the reason for this is our brain is hardwired for movement. And if you want to be highly productive, move while you work, right? So I've got this $250 treadmill under my desk, and usually it's on in all my meetings, right? There's research on the difference of productivity levels in call centers where people sit at desks and have the freedom to roam around on headsets. So we all have different jobs and careers, but if you are at a desk job, move more to be more productive. Our brain is hardwired to maneuver and assess our environment. If you are moving, your cognitive function will be improved. Okay. Next up, is everybody with me so far? I know there's a lot of information in this live, but I literally want this to be something that you can go back to when you're in the tribe and watch it and just be like, oh my God, this was life-changing. I want the tribe to literally be the most valuable free group in the space that you can literally change your life just by being a part of. Okay. So I know there's a lot of information in this, so we're getting through it. If you're not in the tribe, get in the tribe. You can watch the replay if you didn't catch the start. So when it comes to food, it's all about quality foods. That means no junk food, no processed foods, except for one cheat meal per week. Any of my clients who are watching right now, they know having one cheat meal per week is part of the plan. If you want to feel like shit all the time, fill your body up with shit. Plain and simple, right? I have an older Infiniti, and it's a high performance car for what it is. It's a 6-cylinder high performance car. It's a high end car. It only takes high test. So high performance machines take high test gas. If you want to be a high performing individual, why would you be any different? Put high quality gas in the form of foods in your system, right? Those are my health habits. And now we're going to move into mindset. I guess I would say more like business, career, and personal growth. Okay. The habits at the beginning of the training were all about being in like a low anxiety, calm mindset. And these are about growth. Okay. Everybody excited to hear about how to grow mentally, as well as in business and in your career? Just comment growth in the chat. Comment growth in the chat. Okay, let's do this. While you're creating your vision for your life as a high-performing individual, things are going to break. You need to recognize your limits when shit breaks. If you want to be a high performer, you want to be a successful individual, you're going to experience times of overwhelm because you are pushing your capabilities. And that's what's going to happen if you want to take your life to a different level. That when shit breaks, it's time to assess, place boundaries around what you'll take on or what you need to drop based on your priorities, and make changes if you want to grow to the next level. Okay? Boundaries. For example, remember earlier in the training, I talked about how I had 60 online clients and I burnt out, right? I recognized that if my roster of online clients exceeds 50, I can't deliver them the level of support that I promised them without it affecting my capacity and wearing me down. So I'm going to deliver that world-class support because I'm a man of my word, but I put a cap on my online clients at 50. I did that last year, and I started building new systems and setting new boundaries in place that will allow for me to take on more clients soon, right? And you may not be a business owner like me, but all of us need to set boundaries around what we can manage, what you can take on, and be able to say no to things that will put you beyond your capacity. I want you to take a second right now and ask yourself, where do I need to put some boundaries in place in my life? What do I need to say no to in order to fulfill my goals that matter to me? Because nobody else is going to put those goals as a priority. You need to. And then, whose shit have you been owning that's someone else's load that's holding you back? Recognize those things and put boundaries around them. Don't own shit that's not yours. Okay? Talking about not owning other people's shit, you need to remove crabs from your life. As you're growing in all aspects of your life, there are people who are going to turn into crabs in a bucket and try to pull you down. Okay? Look up poppy tool syndrome. Look up crabs in a bucket. Unfortunately, sometimes it's hard. You either need to cut those people out or limit the influence that you allow for them to have on you. Okay? It's hard to, but I'm telling you, because I've done this, you will eventually have a circle of people who will make you unstoppable because they pick you up and help you win, not pull you down. Look at my posts about my groomsmen in my wedding, right? And the people that I choose to surround myself with, Alyssa's family. They all are there to pick us up and watch us win, not pull us down. And if you pull me down or you pull her down, nope, you're not welcome. Okay? Think about it this way. I like superheroes. My favorite superhero is Wolverine. He's pardon my French, he's a badass motherfucker, right? He's a badass man. Is he more powerful on his own or with the X-Men? So if you want to be a different breed, if you want to be a high performer, then you need to surround yourself with superheroes if you want to become one. Surround yourself with people who will motivate you to be on your level. Surround yourself with people who are maybe even doing better than you. Hell, forget maybe. Surround yourself with people who are doing better than you that you can view as motivation, not people who will view you as superior and try to pull you down because of their own insecurities. Is this helpful? Can anybody in here relate to having crabs in their life? Two more points. Just say crabs if you've experienced a crab in your life. The kind in a bucket. I don't want to know about the other. So, sorry, humor, whatever, right? Next thing, two more points. Stop being stubborn. Get help with the things that are out of your expertise, okay? We all have strengths and weaknesses. We all have knowledge in some areas, lots, and little in others, right? If you want to accomplish any goal, there's going to be a cost associated with it. And every goal takes sacrifice and compromise, right? Every goal will cost you time and money. The more money you're willing to invest, the less time you will have to sacrifice, and vice versa, right? So let me give you some examples. I'm an expert at transforming people's lives. I own a 1989 Mustang. I know how an engine creates horsepower, how the transmission puts power to the wheels. I know what I need to do to make that car go faster. I know what the car needs to go faster, but I'm not a mechanic. My brother could help me if I asked him, I guess. He's not a mechanic, but he knows more than I. Who knows how long it would take if we wanted to work on the car or fix something, or how good of a job we would do. So when I want my car to get fixed or to go faster, I don't just take it to another mechanic. I take it to a guy named Joe whose shop only works on Mustangs and has for decades. If I want my Mustang to go fast and I want my Mustang to be of the best performance, I go to a Mustang specialist, right? Getting my brother's help would be free. It would take way longer. And honestly, we probably might break some shit on the way, right? I didn't know how to start my podcast that's upcoming. So I hired a podcast coach to get the show up and running fast. If you're listening to this, you can catch similar trainings are going to be in the podcast and they won't disappear like they do on social media. Tom the Trainer Fitness on all your podcast channels. Either way, I hired a podcast coach to teach me how to start a podcast because I didn't know how. I could figure it out. It would take me forever. I don't got time to waste. I was a great personal trainer. An extremely accomplished personal trainer before I decided to become an online coach. So what did I do? I didn't want to be a half-ass online coach. I've hired 5 business mentors who specialize in helping trainers specifically be great online coaches. I don't waste time trying to figure shit out for myself. I hire the people who are experts at the thing that I want to become great at. And because of that, I accomplish my goals, right? So if you want to become great at something or you want to accomplish a goal, maybe you've been trying to get in shape for 3 years now on your own. Why are you still trying to do it on your own? Hire a coach who specializes in helping people accomplish the goal that you have. If you're having relationship troubles and you want your relationship to get better, hire a relationship counselor. I don't know if you suck at dancing. I suck at dancing, but I don't want to get better. I don't care. Take dancing lessons, right? But if you want to get better at it, take dancing lessons. I don't care what it is. If the goal is important to you, act like it's important and get help to make it happen, right? Does that make sense? Can we put stop being stubborn in the chat when we say we want to accomplish things, but we don't have the skill to do so? And then we get frustrated because we can't do it. There's help. Get help. I'm telling you, this is one of the most powerful things I've ever done in my life. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now if I didn't get help to teach me how to do the things that I want to do. Okay. Here's last point. And this one is huge. Recognize that your life has seasons of focus. I want you to view your life and everything that you're trying to manage within it as a high performer as a garden. You cannot always put fertilizer on all the flowers in the garden at the same time. You need to water all the flowers to keep them all alive. But every flower in a garden blooms at a different time in the season, right? Otherwise, your garden would look great for 2 weeks and then it would look like shit, right? Does that make sense? So recognize what flower needs fertilizing or more attention and be okay with knowing that a high performer keeps all the flowers alive, but pays attention to the ones that need the most attention at the time. Maybe that's because you want to get that flower to grow more, or maybe that flower is dying, right? For example, my recent wedding, my attention went into family and the wedding because that's the flower that I wanted to bloom. I still did my workouts. I still ran my business. I still did all those things, but I poured fertilizer on family and the wedding because that was the goal and that was what needed the most attention while I kept all the other flowers alive. Does that make sense? Say it makes sense in the chat. If a flower is dying or you want it to grow faster than the others, prioritize it while watering the rest. Right? Has this been helpful for everybody? If you found this helpful, make sure that you're in Tom the Trainer's tribe. Description in the bio, description in the description. Description is in the everywhere. It's here. It's there. Pardon me, the link. It's everywhere on all these channels. Okay. Also, if you want to be able to listen to these trainings at any time at all without them disappearing on social media, go subscribe to my podcast, Tom the Trainer Fitness, on all your podcast channels. Tom the Trainer Fitness. Okay. In the Facebook group, I'm going to be giving away free ebooks, running free challenges, hosting Q&As. There's one coming up tomorrow. So if you want to be part of it, hop in the group, comment on the post, ask questions, and I'm going to go live and answer them. And honestly, I'm even going to do free form checks on exercises on Friday. So if you are not part of Tom the Trainer's tribe, go become part of it right now. Okay? Listen, all of the habits in this training will literally change your life if you let them and you use them. But don't get overwhelmed. I gave you a lot of information here. Just don't worry about all of them. Start adding 1 or 2 of those habits every couple of weeks into your routine until you nail them down, and come back to the training, go to the podcast episode, listen to it again, pick up another piece, add it in. Add it in over time, and if you implement these habits, you will literally dominate every aspect of your life while getting to your fitness goals as well. Okay? Everybody have the best day of your life. I hope that you found this extremely helpful, and just comment helpful in the chat if you found this helpful and useful. Have the best day ever.